Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Hi, I'm Siti Nurshida binti Sahalam. Okay, today we will cover our next topic, the book design process. Today I will expose to you the process that occur in printing process, how we do the promotion for the book on specific places allocated for the book, and then we will look into the lineup for the non-fiction book, that mainly for you to know how or what element for book design. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, this is the basic for the process of bookmaking. Okay, this 16 is not one fit all. Of course, there will more than this, especially for non-fiction book. You will have more and more editing process. Okay, for the manuscript, as we discussed before, there is a difference between manuscript and book, where the manuscript is a raw materials sent by author to the publisher, and as a publisher will process the manuscript turned into book features. Okay, after all, when the publisher agree to process the manuscript, the next process is contract or agreement between author and publisher. So basically, this process will be occur uh, before editorial department process. So what the content, the agreement between author and publisher. So basically, we will look into the method of royalty payment, the duration take by publisher to produce the book, about the materials, and so on. After the contract signed or agreement released by the publisher, we proceed to the editing process. This is the process where occur in editorial department. This editing process conducted by various term for editor. The most common is copy editor, known as manuscript editor. Okay, what editing process take into consideration? The copy editor will look into the content of the manuscript, the facts and figure, will look into all the materials sending by author to the publisher already released. Okay, so in short, the editing process done by copy editor involve major corrections, while process to the proofreading will be conducted by proofreader, okay, also known as a desk editor. In this process, the editing quite mild, whereas a proofreader they have to check the font size, font type, must consistent between cover to cover, and then we'll look into the numbering. In short, in proofreading process, as a proofreader must to ensure that the publishing house style maintained in the manuscript. Next process is typesetting. This typesetting involve to change manuscript features, which is commonly A4 size, turn into book size. There are variety of book size. We can see as smaller as A5 size or smaller than that. The large size, such as coffee table book. So this kind of sizes determine during typesetting process. It is common for our publishing industry or publishing company. They are using Adobe InDesign. Okay, after we set up the manuscript into book size, we have to check the content again. This is what we call editing after typesetting, where the copy editor have to check whether all the materials sent by author is already in the types book layout. Somehow, during the typesetting, some information will be missing during the copy paste or import process. Next, we go for the correction in book layout version, and then page layout, meaning to say that this cover to ensure this layout to ensure book cover design is already appear, and then everything process conducted done. we ready the manuscript or the book layout in the PDF format and send them to the production department. In our case in Malaysia, most of the company do not have their own printing department. Meaning to say, they are not affordable to produce by their own. It is common practice. They are sending the copy to the specific printing company. But for example, the Alam 21, Dewan Bahasa dan Pustaka, they have all in one lah. Okay, and then in production department, I divided the process into three types: pre-press, press, and post-press. The pre-press process, any process that occur before printing. For example, film making, plate making, fill in the doc sheet document, the preparing of signature. Okay, after everything in place, we proceed the copy to the printing process. So basically, printing we commonly apply numbers of printing, such as offset printing or printing on demand. So for the printing on demand, I will go further for the topic 12. While offset printing, minimum numbers that this printing machine produce is 500 copies. While if you're looking for the small number of quantity, it is best for you to go for the printing on demand. In a printing company that are located in Malaysia, they run both. They have this offset and printing on demand. After the printing process completed, we proceed the next process called binding process. Okay, for the binding process, I will go further for the next topic as well. And then after the binding process completed, we go for the packaging, all the inserting elements such as calendar, samples of the products, any materials given by publisher to the readers, package here or in this process. After all, we do the distribution. Okay. Okay, book production, there are numbers of terms that you need to familiar with. What may different between a new edition versus reprinting? The new edition is the new title of the book, which never printed before, while reprinting the existing title being reprint. This is commonly apply for the bestseller title. Next is a royalty payment. I put here 10% versus 90%. It shows that this 10% given to the author while 90% given to the publisher. If the book's price is 10 ringgit, so author is eligible to get 1 ringgit for each book sold. While the publisher will earn this 90% because the publisher take the responsibility to turn the manuscript into book and do the promotion. Apart from that, the royalty payment also involve for lump sum. So many new author will go for it. The lump sum payment, meaning to say if your manuscript agreed by publisher to be published, so they will pay you, for example, 20,000 ringgit and one-off payment. So meaning to say if for the next or future, if your books being reprinting, you do not have right to ask for the royalty payment. Next is self-publishing and self-publisher. Self-publishing is a process, while self-publisher is people who run the process. Self-publisher shows that you produce the manuscript, you process the manuscript, turn into book, and you do the promotion, and finally you earn the profit by yourself. In digital era, we have social media. The self-publisher grow easily because from the social media itself is the best promotion method compared to the conventional, for example, depending on the bookstore. Next is the importance of book design. In publishing, people do judge a book by its cover. When you go to the bookstore, sometimes you are not planned to buy the book, but because of the features of the book, uh, you hold and buy the book. So to ensure that the book design never hurts sales, this chapter exposed to you types of book design according to Marshall Lee. There are two types of book design: transparent approach and mood approach. However, these book design were determined by publisher, despite from the manuscript itself. So before we go further for the book design approach, let look into elements of book design. We will look into the size of the book. To determine the book design approach, we will look into the size of the book, the body copy, the font size one type, the titles itself, and how many chapters numbers. Okay, let's browse through the book design approach. Okay, basically we have two design approach. Design approach meaning to say is that the types of the book layout. Okay, we have transparent and mood approach. The transparent approach, any books layout that only have black and white design. Meaning to say there is no illustration, only text or black and white. While mood approach, they are very interesting design, more illustration, colorful, and then somehow they have bigger pictures, many images. So it is common practice for mood approach, applicable for children book, while transparent approach for adult book. But in nowadays, many of our publisher looking for mood approach to ensure that, back to the main point discussion, to ensure that book being sold and never hurt sales. Okay. Okay, for the next topic, we will go for second session or part two of book design. So stay tuned.